Hello and welcome back to What Was, a show where I look at and explain obscure or lost media to you, the audience. Lost music is a very interesting topic for me since I hold music to a very high regard and I even make music myself. Lost albums, singles, whatever you name it, somehow it will always get under the radar, either intentionally or unintentionally. Today we are looking at an intentional one, an album called The Black Room by the Copyright Liberation Front, which was scrapped after the band disbanded after an award show. Anyways, let's begin. In New Year's Eve, 1987, acclaimed British musician Bill Drummond had a great idea while walking from home. He wanted to make a hip hop record, so he phoned a fellow artist named Jimmy Cauty, who was an artist at his former label, and he started recording music with him. In early 1987, both of them adopted alter ego nicknames and adopted the group name The Justified Agents of Moo Moo. They used a ton of samples from popular music, from any era of music really, with a drum machine playing in the background while Drummond rapped about social issues and stuff. After a legal issue with the sampling, their debut studio album was withdrawn from stores. Their second album was released afterwards in 1988. Then they changed their name to the Time Lords and released a single called Doctor and the TARDIS, which was especially made to make a number one hit. And it did become a number one hit, so hats off to them, I guess. They even made a book about it. After dropping another single in 1988, they retired the Justified Ancients whatever's of Moo name to the KLF. During this renaming period, they were working on a road trip movie and a soundtrack to go along with it, but it didn't go on well. It ended up being never released, but bootleg copies of it do exist on the internet somewhere. The name of the album was The White Room, and during this time, a complementary project was being developed to go alongside with it. Well, of course, the White Album did end up being finished and was a commercial success, just like their previous efforts, but the complimentary album was never finished. In 1990, The Black Room was first mentioned by the group in an interview. Unlike The White Room, the album was much more industrial and heavy. This was inspired by an actual event where the duo went to a rave club with a malfunctioning speaker and played screeching bass drums. This intrigued the duo, who were inspired by this experience that later led them to the creation of this album. During production, the duo started collaborating with the group Extreme Noise Terror, which made them switch the sound of the album to thrash metal. They even almost collaborated with Motorhead before they went with Extreme Noise Terror, but Motorhead declined the offer. In 1992, they were nominated for a Brit Award for Best Group, so all was good in the end, right? Well, February 12, 1992. The duo was supposed to play their hit song, 3am Eternal, but things weren't all that well. During planning stages, the band wanted to throw a bucket of blood into the audience and an actual sheep on stage, keeping in line with their bizarre artistic expression from their earlier years. They managed to purchase the sheep, but the plan fell through. The lead singer Drummond almost considered chopping his hand off live on stage. Why did they think of doing this? Well, they wanted to be ostracized from the music industry after their recent success, so they wanted to go out on an anarchic note. On the date and hour of the performance, the band performed the noise rock remix of 3am Eternal, but the band didn't want to go to waste, so the performance was concluded with Bill Drummond literally firing an automatic gun over the heads of the crowd, which was loaded with blanks for safety, of course. The band left the stage with confused onlookers at the scene, wondering just what the hell happened. Then, a person who narrated some stuff by the KLF before announced the band's disbandment. The band was over. Most people just thought the PA announcers were joking and that the band were pulling a prank on them. After this event happened, the band actually kept doing work on the Black Room with the Extreme Noise up until May 14, which the group announced their retirement from the music industry and wiped out their entire back catalog. Yeah, The album was never finished, and it is most like that we won't be finding it anytime soon since it was completely destroyed by the band. But they did go on to make some other projects along the way after their retirement.
Baby, line goes where the islands go.
After their retirement from the music industry, Drummond and Cody both founded the K Foundation, which was an art foundation they used for their artistic projects after the KLF disbanded. For example, in one of their artistic films, they burned £1,000,000, which was what was left of the KLF's earnings at that time. In November 1995, they announced that the KLF Foundation wouldn't do anything for 23 years. After 5 years of not doing any performances, the KLF finally returned to do a brief performance in 1997 for 23 minutes. They entered the performance in motorized wheelchairs and looking really old. They performed the new song, well, not really, it was a remix of an older song, but it was still new material, and it's still the only single they have released since 1997. It was called Fuck the Millennium, and was accompanied with some posts that said "Fuck the Millennium" with a phone number that you could call to vote for it, I guess. The performance ended and the band disappeared again. During this time, the band also became the K2 Plan Air, a company created by the band to be a quote-unquote music company, but that really didn't go anywhere. 23 years after they burned £1,000,000 in Liverpool, the band finally returned under their Justified Inches of Moo Moo name. They did a 3-day event where they debate on why they burned £1,000,000 and stuff like that. They also mentioned building a people's pyramid. It's kind of strange, but okay. Finally, in 2021, at long last, they finally uploaded their long-deleted catalog on streaming services. They were finally back. They upload music videos and albums on their YouTube channel, with the newest release just being a few days ago as of recording this. Well, this officially means that without a doubt, the Copyright Liberation Front had rejoined the music industry. The creative genius of this band really amazed me when I did more research on them, and I wish both Bill Drummond and TIMECODES the best when it comes to their music. Well, of course, I didn't mention a lot of things just to make it short, but I hope you all enjoyed my video. And newcomers are probably gonna come and see this video as well, but that's pretty cool.